So I finally got this studio sorted out and kind of like tidied because it had become a bit of a dumping ground. And that's not really what we're talking about today. I'm not really here to talk about the studio and to talk about what we're actually doing in that studio. I'm here to talk about something else. And that is how to make your voice sound a little bit better in your videos. What's happening guys, Dan Debenham here. In this video we are talking about how to add that little bit of depth to your voice, to the soundtrack of your voice, so that it stands off against the music and so on and so forth, and not just using the straight audio recorded off the video and pushing that straight out. So this is just doing a little bit of audio work. It's not the most sexiest of things to do, although I'm sure audio guys will tell you that it is as amazing, but it is something that adds a little bit more of a polish to the video that you've done. I'm by no means, I just want to point this out, by no means an audio guy. I don't really do too much work with audio, but I do find that this adds that little bit of depth, that little bit of gravity to it, and it just allows you to make your voice sound a little bit more post-produced, a little bit like you would do that with any sound that you've got. So without further ado, let's dive into Premiere Pro and let's have a look how we go about processing that audio. Okay, so we're going to assume that you have done all your edit and your colour grading, and you're in a position where you're wanting to adjust your audio and you're wanting to get it so that it's how you want it to sound. Now, I do two things for my audio. I'm not an audio guy, as I say. I have a rudimentary understanding of it, but these things, I feel like these work. That's why I'm sharing them with you today. So, first things first. What we do is we mute any music tracks that are on there, because we're working with a voice. So we've got audio track 3 and 4 have got music on. We're going to get rid of that so that we're not messing with that sound at this minute in time. It also needs pointing out that for each individual voice that you have on your video, this will need to be repeated. It can be transposed into as many clips as you want for that particular voice, but each individual voice needs at least this doing, because every voice is individual and different. So we'll peak, we'll sound tinny, will sound graty, will sound gravelly or whatever in different points. So with that caveat said and out of the way, let's get on with what we actually do. So first things first, what I do is I go up and I make sure Effects Controls is selected so I can see it. I click on a clip so I can make sure that it's all there, and then we come down to the File Management program and I click on Effects. In Effects I'm going to type in Para, and that's going to bring up Parametric Equalizer, which is what we're looking for, and I'm going to drop that onto my clip. And then we're going to hit the X and I'm going to type multi, and multi is going to bring up multi-band compressor. I'm going to drag that on as well. So now we look and we can check we've got two effects working in our timeline on that one audio track. We've left audio 2 alone because we're going to transpose this effect into audio 2 by copy and pasting it in there. So we don't have to do it twice, we don't have to do all the adjustments twice, we don't make sure everything sounds exactly the same. So first things first, I'm going to go to Parametric Equalizer and I'm going to select Edit. And that brings up this wonderful little box here, which looks complicated. It's got all sorts of figures in, dials and so on and so forth. And it's also got this lovely blue line along the middle with what look like points to change, which is what they are. They've got a low, a high, and then you've got 1 to 5. Now what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on 3. 3 is sort of middle of the road, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag that to the top, swish it left and right, and we're going to listen to where the sound changes. And at that point, that's the sound portion of the audio that we're going to alter. So we're going to play the clip through and then we're going to do that. So let's do that now. And that's not really what we're talking about today. I'm not really here to talk about the studio and to talk about what we're actually doing in that studio. I'm here to talk about something else, and that is how to make your voice sound a little bit better in your videos. Okay, so now that we've done that, I think it's around this area here. I think this is roughly where we're at with this audio. I think we need to adjust that there. So I'm going to bring this down and I'm just going to fetch it down below so that it dips there. And I think it also does it at 2 as well. So I'm going to just dip it just slightly at 2 because I don't think it's quite as much. But I'll make it a bit more at 3. And we're just going to bring it across sort of around that area there. And we can of course play it through and we can listen to the effect with the effects on and off anyway. So if we just do that now, you can hear there might be a slight difference at this stage in the edit. And that's not really what we're talking about today. I'm not really here to talk about the studio and to talk about what we're actually doing in that studio. I'm here to talk about something else, and that is how to make your voice sound a little bit better in your video. Now it's very, very subtle at this stage, so effectively we're done now with the parametric equalizer. What we're going to do now is come across back to our FX control tab, and we're going to click edit in the multiband compressor. Now in here I don't really adjust too much in here. What I am going to do is I'm going to use a preset, and I'm going to look through all the presets here. The one I find that works best for me would be broadcast, and I've put broadcast in, and then I just that's it really. If I want to alter the output gain, I can alter it here. So if it's clipping at the top, I can alter the output down slightly to reduce the effect effectively. But I have, before we go any further, I can just say that I have already altered the levels of this audio as a whole by 3.1 decibels. That was just because it was clipping and it wanted to be down a little bit. So with that, let's have a listen through and see what difference this makes. And that's not really what we're talking about today. I'm not really here to talk about the studio and to talk about what we're actually doing in that studio. I'm here to talk about something else, and that is how to make your voice sound a little bit better in your videos. Now as you can see, that's made a much bigger difference, and that's because both those two effects are working together at the same time. So basically we can close that out now because we know that that's all okay, and then we can right click on audio track 1, or whichever audio track it is that you've selected to change, copy it and then paste it into the other audio tracks. Now we make sure that effects is checked and that we've got multiband compressor and parametric equalizer all on there, and then we click OK, and you'll see that the selected effects have appeared in the effects control tab. And that basically is how we adjust the audio. You can do the same for music as well if you need to, but you can overall alter the level of music anyway. As you can see, if I click on it, the level of music, I've got it down to minus 28 decibels, so it runs underneath my voice anyway, but this just gives your voice that bit more of a boost. So as you can see, it's not that I'm asking you to spend hours and hours and hours tinkering with audio, moving sliders back and forth, trying to get that perfect audio. This is a few simple tricks that will add gravity and depth to your audio. It's something that I do, and it's something that I think is important to do in all videos. It's not just take the sound straight out of the camera or straight out of the audio recorder and then bash it straight into a video. So it will need a little bit of a tinker, and this is the quickest and easiest way of doing that. So I hope you did find that tutorial on what I do with my audio really useful, and hope you can put it to use. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.